Okay, hello everybody. Happy Monday. So if you have not tried the warm-up all by yourself yet, please pause the video, try the warm-up. There should be a blank document that you can take a look at that the supply teacher will hand out to you. Give the warm-up a try and then check your answers here. All right, so first things first, hopefully this is 100% review. So if I have something like 5x and negative 3x, the piece in front of the variable and its coefficient, in this case the negative, travels with it. So it's whatever's in front travels with. So here I've got 5x minus 3x is going to give me 2x. And then I've got 10 plus 12 is going to give me positive 22. All right. For here, something like this, we end up with 8x minus 14. So I could just rewrite that and drop the brackets. To drop this brackets, I need to put this through to everything you see there. However, because it's positive, it changes nothing. And then you just collect just like we did over here. So I've got 8 plus 7. I like to do stuff like underline or box or circle. And the reason I do that is because eventually we're going to end up with like really ugly stuff like this or even longer. And having a strategy where you don't drop any pieces is a really good way to make sure that you're getting an accurate answer. So I've got 8 and 7 is 15x. And I've got negative 14 plus 6 will give me negative 8. Okay. Here we go. I've got negative 2, 5x minus 2. So because this is in front, it's multiplying. So I just need to distribute it to each piece in the bracket. So I've got negative 2 times 5x gives me negative 10x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Okay. And then this one over here, I have to do this, but I have to do it twice. All right. Make sure you're remembering to carry the full piece. Okay. So I've got 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. And then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6x. Then negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. And then again, just like we did above, we're collecting all the terms. So I've got 12 minus 6 is going to give me 6x. I've got negative 24 plus 3 is going to give me negative 21. So there's your warm-up. Moving on. Okay, to solving linear systems by graphing. Here we go. Let's just make sure I have my sheet out. Okay, so to solve a linear system means to find the point of intersection between the given lines. This could involve 2 or more lines. So POI means point of intersection. And this is what we're finding if we are putting together a solution to a linear system. Okay, so first thing you want to do, I'll show you my graph here, is you want to set it up by slope y-intercept form. So here, to do this one, I started with positive 1. So here I have positive 1, and then my slope is positive 1. So I'm up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Draw the line. Make sure that you label your line and that there's arrows on the ends of your line. Just like that. Now, for this one here, we have to do a little bit of rearranging. So from here, we've got 2y plus 4x equals 8. Now, the first thing we want to do is get the y all by itself, because in a perfect world, we can graph it exactly the same way as we did with the other one, right? So To do that, I need to move the x's to the other side. So I'm adding 4x, which means I'm subtracting 4x. So that leaves me with 2y minus 4x plus 8. Then I have to divide all the pieces by the coefficient in front of y. And that will give me y equals negative 2x plus 4. So then I'm going to go back. And I've got my plus 4. And I got negative 2x, which means I'm going down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. I join the dots, label my line with the original. You don't want to label it with what you came up with. Label it with the original. Okay? And then you find where those two lines intersect. And in this case, those two lines intersect at point 1, 2. So that means the solution to this equation is 1, 2. All right, moving on. Solve the following system by graphing and check your work. All right, so for this one, exact same as before. You've got negative x plus 4. So if I'm starting at plus 4 and I'm going negative x, that means I'm going down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. Arrows on the end, join the line. Make sure you label for full communication marks. This one here, again, this is in the wrong form, so we're going to move the x's, so we'll subtract the x's from both sides. Will leave me with negative 2y equals negative x plus 10. Divide all the pieces by the coefficient in front of y, and that will give me x over 2, which will give me a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so it'll give me y equals x over 2 minus 5. Okay, this is the same as this. So when you see something like this in a textbook, it's not as scary as it looks. Okay, it's exactly this. And if you're more comfortable rewriting it like this, then do that. Okay, and then we're going to graph that. So make sure that you notice that I have the full grid labeled. So I'm starting at negative 5, and I'm going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Join the dots, arrows on the end, fully label. Okay, so that's what your first page should look like. And your point of intersection, if you check that out, is 6, negative 2. So make sure you put your point of intersection as 6, negative 2. Put a beautiful box around it. Okay, moving on. Oh, where is my next page? There it is. All right, so this is very important. So when you're doing a check, a left side, right side check, and I'm going to let you know now, I'm going to give you the heads up that this is absolutely on the test. So make sure you know how to do a left side, right side check. Hopefully this is absolutely review. So for a left side, right side check, you take your equation, you put what's on the left side, you put what's on the right side on the right side. I've put equal signs in the middle for now. You don't actually have to do this. I just wanted to be super clear about which side is which. So then our point of intersection for this particular one was 6, negative 2. As you recall, we just did it. And so for that, you're going to put your y, put your negative x plus 4, sub in the y where the y goes, and the x where the x goes. And actually, I'm bad. You're supposed to put brackets there. There we go. Okay, and then you want to do the math. If the left side equals the right side, you know that this point exists in here, okay? Because if this point didn't exist in here, the x and the y would be lopsided, okay? Your left side and your right side would be different. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always the same, right? So if we go into equation 2 and we do the exact same thing, we put the same points in, we do a different equation, we end up with 10 equals 10. So you notice that 10 equals 10 isn't the same as negative 2 equals 2. That doesn't matter. What matters is that the left side equals the right side. So if the left side equals the right side, this point is somewhere on this line. And because these points both belong on both lines, we know that that's the point where these lines cross, because it's the only point these two lines share. Okay? So at this point, stop here, try this on your own, and then check your answers. So pause the video, try it out. Okay, I'm going to go over this now. So hopefully you worked through this on your own and you're not just like copying it directly. You should be using this time to process. Okay, so 4x minus 5y equals 0. So we should be setting this up here, moving the x over by subtracting 4 from both sides, dividing both sides by the coefficient in front of y, and that should give you y equals 4 over 5x. And when you have 4 over 5x, that means that your y-intercept is 0. So I'm going to put my 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, drop a dot, same other way, down 4, and 5 the other way, drop a dot, join the line, label the line with the original label. All right, then we'll do the other one, and hopefully this is feeling really good and that you got this and you understood this. So you subtract 6x on this side, divide by the coefficient in front of y, and that should give you this here. Okay, and that means you're starting at -2. You're going up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you will notice that these two lines cross at 5, 4. So my point of intersection is 5, 4. Okay, same over here. Whoops. Running out of room on my desk. Okay, so for this one, you've got your 2x plus 3y minus 9 equals 0. So in this case, the fastest way to do this, because we've been talking a lot about speed, is not to move the x and the number over here. It's just to shuttle the y over here. And then once you've got the y over here, divide by the coefficient in front of y. Once you've done that, you can switcheroo them back. Okay? As long as they are separated by the equal sign, you can flop them. It's fine, without changing the sign. So when I flopped it back, it's fine. Okay, so then this, I start at 3 and I go down 2 over 3 and I place a dot, join the lines, label your line. Okay, and then for this one, I'm again going to move the y over, and then that was super easy. It was basically done after that. So then I start at -2, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, join the lines. My point of intersection is 3, 1. So hopefully that's what you got. All right, flip it over. Okay, again, try this on your own and then check your answers for this page. So if you haven't tried this on your own yet, pause the video, go try it on your own. Okay, here we go. So first things first, exactly like it sounds, you park your -2, up 3 over 1. Here you start at +1, you go up 2 over 1, and eventually they'll meet up here at 3, 7. And then you want to verify that answer. So if you verify it, that's a left side, right side check. So y equals 3x minus 2, which is our first equation. Okay, and our second equation is 2x plus 1. And in this case, they both happen to equal 7, which is wonderful, but they don't need to. As long as left side equals right side, you know you got the right answer. So you know we're good. Okay, then down here, you've got these two lines here. You've got x plus 1. So start with plus 1 and then join the dots, arrows, label the line. Here we've got -4, up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. And we can see the point at which the line intersects is not pretty. It is not a nice line. Okay, so I put here, I didn't actually do the calculations for it. I just read it off the graph. And I want you to see how different is your answer from my answer. And that's the issue. So the issue is that graphing is not always the best way to find a solution to one of these problems because sometimes they're not easy to read. So what about this one here? So same thing. You'll have to excuse my extra lines here. It was late when I did this worksheet to begin with, and I messed up a couple times, but that's what whiteout is for, people. So I did x equals -5, so here it is, and it has no y value because we're not touching the y line ever. And here I've got -3x plus 2, so I've got my plus 2, and I'm going down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, join the lines. And what is our issue here? Well, our issue is that this piece is off the graph. I know that at some point when this line hits that line, my x value will be -5 because this is never changing. But do I know what my y value will be? I have no idea, right? So I unless I make this graph bigger and bigger and bigger, and sometimes when you're dealing with really big numbers, making a graph that big just isn't a reasonable use of time. So this is another limit to the graphing method, that if it's off the graph or if you're dealing with decimal numbers, the graphing method is not the most accurate method. All right, make sure you check on your textbook homework and get that done, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Take care. Bye.